So, Lucas, thanks for having us down. Firstly, how are you enjoying being a pro boxer?
Enjoying it a lot, having a great time in the gym with George every day, and yeah, it's living the dream.
How many times a day, every day?
Twice, so we do 11 sessions a week in total. Get the boxing taken care of in the morning, and 'cause I do feel like I'm a morning person. I do feel like that's why I thrive. And then the rest, any like grueling weights, anything, you don't really need to use any brain power for that. So we can just do that in the afternoon.
We won't tell the weight lifters that you don't need to use any brain power, but,
Yeah.
but how mad is that you're actually saying that boxing is your full-time job now? Like,
Yeah.
is that a dream?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Any athlete, I guess it's a struggle to get to there. So where you get enough support and funding to be able to do that. But now, is living my dream.
If we're going back to the start, was boxing always a dream? Was it always something at the forefront of your mind? Did you want to get it to like the elite level?
Definitely watching high-level championship boxing. For example, George, when he was fighting for world titles, I don't think any young boy who would look at that and think, I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, the only reason you'd say you wouldn't is because of fear. Because some people, they look at boxing and they say, oh, how could you do that? For others, for young people like myself, I was like, oh, that's the best thing in the world. People watching you feel like gladiators. High risk, high reward. At a young age, yeah, I definitely looked at something. It was, if I could get to there, oh, that would be amazing. That would be, I would feel like I've achieved something in my life.
And you mentioned George there. What was it about George, other than him being at the top of his game? What was it about him that made you admire him so much as a young boy?
Well, from seeing him on TV, I would say he was just a great fighter. He was a great fighter. And he had the other side to him. He seemed like he was someone who could fight, and then outside of the ring, he seemed like a strategist. He seemed very intellectual, a clever guy, very personable. And then when I met him, you're kind of a bit starstruck because he's a world champion, especially as a young boy. But then I realized he's a genuine person. He's just someone who had a dream and then worked hard and achieved his dream.
Even the pigeons up there are quite starstruck by George Groves and Lucas's presence here. You have like a connection of being at Dale Youth.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that he was from around the area when you started boxing and then you saw him on telly?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like the northwest area I come from, this is Ladbroke Grove area, and I started off at All Stars Boxing Gym before I come to here, but I knew like the likes of James DeGale, George Groves, Del Youth was always, it kind of had that aura about it, where this is where a lot of former champions and champions came from. So then when I did join the gym, of course you know about, especially boxing is, when you're in boxing, it's a small world, you're gonna know, especially about the champions that have come from London and what gyms they come from. And it was a surprise to me when I did come and I came to my first Sunday session that you had George. I was like, why are you here? He's a world champion. He should be, I don't know, on some beach somewhere, drinking cocktails and just enjoying his retirement. But he was here training the young boys.
I'm going to take it back a little bit. And you were into basketball. Was that before boxing or was it kind of running side by side?
Yeah, it was a bit side by side. I say in secondary school. Obviously, basketball was a fun sport. I enjoyed the camaraderie, like being on a team. But then it got to a certain point where you kind of realize when you get to a big boy age, like 16, 17, you're like, am I going to be able to make a living from this? Yeah. You got the American kids that are just next level. Because I always wanted to be in a sport. Mm-hmm. And just be an athlete, better my life. So I was like, boxing is most like the route to go.
In basketball, you're obviously playing as part of a team, so you've got like the 5 men on the court, and then you've obviously got like your staff and your coaching team.
Yeah.
In boxing, yes, you have a coaching team, but it's very much you in there by yourself. Is there any transferable skills that you've taken from basketball into boxing?
The different side, when you're on a team, you need communication. So I would say maybe boxing, you don't really need, it's not like you're going to shout at your teammate, because you ain't got no teammates.
You can shout
So
at your corner.
I chat my coach, but he's the one, I just need to listen. So I just need to listen and put it into action. I mean, I love that side of boxing where it's just all on you, and you have to be focused, you know, the whole 3 minutes, whereas like basketball, you can take a break past the ball, have a little walk, but boxing is on you all the time. And I think that's a great thing, because when you win, then you know it's of course you got your team, but it's you that put it into action, and you got no one else to blame if things don't go your way but yourself.
You are a Minnesota Timberwolves fan.
I love the Anthony Edwards at the moment. He's like my favourite player.
He's such a big presence on the team. He gets everyone J'd up. Do you see anything in Anthony Edwards in yourself? I know you're kind of a little bit more reserved, and he's very much in your face.
Basketball's not a physical sport, even though it's it's a.
Yeah, I think the NBA players might argue against that.
Obviously, they're not. It's a very physical sport, but it's meant to be a non-contact.
Yeah.
But I would say still someone like him, you can see he's got like that killer mentality, where he's very, even like when he's dunking on people, very spiteful. And I love his confidence. Like you said, I'm a bit more reserved, but I'm still confident in my own right. Obviously, he loves to trash talk and all that, but my confidence is a bit more silent. And so it's different personalities, but I still respect and I still admire his side. But as an athlete, you need to be confident. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to, and you're the person who's going to wake up every morning. No one's going to want to better your life for you except you.
There's kind of parallels. In the NBA, he's played against Kevin Durant, who he's quite vocal that that's his like idol and his favourite player of all time and one of the best players of all time. Then he's gone to play with him in the Olympics. I feel like the way that you and George have been, like you said, you've admired George from a young age.
Yeah.
That must be quite a similar feeling. What has it been like being trained and managed by George?
Even though, you know, George is a great coach and, you know, he believes in me as a fighter, it's still personalities. They have to, you know, some personalities, coaches, fighters, they clash and they just don't get on well, even though they might be great fighters, they might be great coaches. But for me and George, even outside the ring, you know, we had that connection. You know, I view him as a friend, as a role model as well.
And George has told me that you can actually speak fluent French.
Yeah, I can.
Come on, give us some French.
Alors, mon maman est français, alors je peux parler français aussi. Elle est née dans Alsace et parfois je vais là-bas pour visiter mon famille.
Okay, so I got my mum's French. I also speak French.
Yeah.
She's from the Alsace
Yeah, she's
region.
from Alsace region in
Oh,
France.
and then I lost my way.
To be honest with you, because I haven't been in France for so long and I don't speak with her no more in French, you lose it. So when I was like 15, 16, I was on point.
You got to get practicing that.
So
It's a
I
great
need
skill to have. Think
yeah.
about when you're fighting them French fighters.
I'll be able to.
You need to
obviously-
hear what they're telling them
Yeah.
to do. You can counter it.
Exactly. Obviously, the listening, I'll always be able to understand everything. But it's just that being able to articulate it, when you ain't spoken so long, it's like your brain, you have to think twice before you're saying things.
So what makes you not speak to your mum in French anymore?
I'm just bored, like, I just want to be speaking English.
Back to boxing. So you're 4-0. You've been matched pretty hard. Like Joe McIntyre for your first fight was pretty tough debut. Like he's coming to win.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was great for George to have that confidence in me to say, look, you're going to box a 2-time English champion in your debut and you're going to do the business and, you know, just make a statement, in which we did. And I think that was what led us to have the following opportunities and being as active as you have been. So in boxing, you've got to put yourself out there, take some risks, and then to get the reward back.
Yeah, so you want to be 7-0 by the end of 2025?
Yeah. I mean, 7, 8, 9, don't matter.
Just as active as you can be.
Just as active as possible. The next 6 months, if we could have another 3 fights, finish off maybe 9-0, it just puts us in a great position.
It's your first fight You just arrive. What are you feeling in that moment when you've just arrived?
Excitement, like ready to go.
No
Ready to
nerves?
go now. Good nerves, like good nerves where, you know, the adrenaline, you feel like the adrenaline, like you want to put your shorts on, you want to feel good, get nice and warm, and then yeah, you don't feel nerve because you've worked towards this, so now you're like this is what I've been dreaming about, this is what I've been playing over and over in my head, and let's just go out and perform.
And is that just as you arrive, or is that while you're sitting getting your wraps done?
I would say for me, the more nerves is before I even get to the venue, or like
Okay.
before the weigh-in, or before any of that. That's the more nerves because you're like, oh, what if something goes wrong now? Uh, what if I get ill? For me, that's the most nerve-wracking thing because once you're getting your hands wrapped, you're like, everything I could control is like I've done. I feel good now. I feel fresh. I feel healthy. I feel ready to go. But say like the day before, you might think, what if I get bad news from my family, you know, or what if I get stressed out over something or eat something rubbish? Then that's what makes you nervous. You're like, I just want to get to the venue now, be wrapped up, have my gloves on, because then you realise there's no walking out. You either feel ready to go, and I always do. The worst experience I've had so far is my third fight when I was coming out for my ring walk in Brighton, and we told them a specific song for my ring walk, and they picked a totally different wrong song. They played it like 30 seconds in, so then I just hear this beat, it go boom, and then my heart just drops. So I'm like, this is not the song.
Oh no!
And then I see like Chris, my video guy Chris, shout out to Chris, he was like looking at me and he was like, what's going on? And I was just, that just put me in a bad.
I was going to say, is it something as small as that being wrong
Yeah,
that can
getting
like
thrown
turn
off.
the
'Cause
whole
yeah, it does throw
thing
you
of how
off a little
the
bit.
outcome of the fight?
Because you have it in your mind, it's gonna be like this. Your music's gonna come on, and then you're gonna walk. You know, have that confident walk to the ring. So when that got messed up, I was like, I had to go back. I had to go into the ring and then just completely forget about it and just get. So that was my worst experience so far as like a professional boxer.
You learn from how you deal with adversity,
Definitely.
I suppose. What are your like dreams and aspirations for being a fighter?
Well, fight at the highest stage, you know, fight in stadiums, and you know, fight for a world title and win a world title one day. I think that's just. I think once you do something as big as that, as a boxer and as a sports person, no one can ever take that away from you. Like no matter what you do in your life, no matter like whatever the rest of your life is, you're always viewed as a success because you know he was a world champion.
You used the word success there. Would you class not getting a world? I'm not being negative, but would you class not getting a world title as being a failure?
No, I mean, sometimes it's one of those ones where if if I knew I gave it my all, and you know the things that I could control, I did right, and you know sometimes life, you know, throws things that you can't control in life might stop you from achieving it. I would never view myself as a failure, even though that's one of my biggest fears where not achieving what I want to achieve. But I think you still gotta you still gotta have that love for yourself. You still gotta tell yourself, you know, I gave it my all, but for me, I try to think positive always and say we're gonna get there.